Okay, anything else from the council?
Yeah.
Batteries are
Finance
in
committee, continue on with programs that in the past we were doing this immediately prior to the council meetings. To 5:30, gather that.
Okay. All right. Who wants to be the leader out there on this crime thing? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we would like to request getting help with our neighborhood crime watches.
Are you Diane?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Forgive me for not standing. I'm a little shaky. It's a little hot in here. Hey, you guys are probably sweating. We would like to be able to get help in getting neighborhood watch signs. At least getting them put up if you guys can't foot the bill for the crime signs, because we're trying to find grants, we're trying to get fundraisers to get the crime watch signs going. Would you guys be interested in us getting together with you and letting you know where all the crime watches are?
I was just going to suggest that you get with the public improvement and possibly public safety.
Okay.
And get a proposal together. Let me tell you this, and I've talked to a couple on the council. These crime watchers are great. They start off just gung-ho and go, go, go. The county did one a few years ago. It lasted probably 6 months. Some of the signs are still up, but people lose interest, and I don't know why. They should never lose interest. You need to know what your neighbor's doing.
Yes.
Whether they're gone for the week, keep an eye on their house. You need to talk to your neighbors. That's the big thing, is communication, right, Stu? Stu, you got anything you'd like to say along those lines?
No, I talked to Diane before the meeting. I'm more than willing to meet with any crime watch committee that comes in.
It's probably like Stu said before, when there was the last meetings, that if somebody, if you see something that's not normal or out of character, call the police right then.
Yeah, that's what our crime page is trying to do. We've got over 800 members now, and then they've gone out into their own neighborhoods and talked to people that aren't on public, networking. And we've got a lot of it going. It's slow going because I've never done anything like this before. A lot of other people haven't. I'm getting as much input as I can from those who know. So I'm asking you guys for help, and you said there's some people here that I should get with.
Yes, Stuart, the police chief, Ernie, safety, and public improvement. Who's the public improvement guy? Merrill.
Okay.
Cheryl?
Mayor, I have a couple of questions because I think it will help most of us who are in here. I'd like to ask.
I can't hear you.
That was low.
Number one, I'd like to know, either from you or Stu, how many full-time policemen we have. Do we have any part-time policemen? I'd also like to know how many firemen we have. And whoever is in charge of finance, perhaps Steve can help, or maybe Ken, what is the actual budget for the policemen that we pay and the firemen?
You can get that from Jody. He has that written down. Isn't that right, Stu?
Okay.
And Stu can
Is
tell you
that
how many
something you
police.
would know, though? I mean, most of us don't have time to go see those.
We can get it to you. Yeah, we'll get it to you.
But I would like to know the number of...
17 full-time policemen.
Which is definitely not enough.
17 full-time policemen and 5 part-time. All right, because the word on the street is that Karen only has 6 policemen.
How many?
6.
We need 6 more. Yeah, we need 6 more.
And I would suggest even more part-time policemen if we can afford the...
Well, that gets into the union thing then.
All right, but thank you. How many firemen?
I don't know. And I think Mike's glad.
I want to say 12. 3 spots.
That's close. If that's not exact, that's close.
By 12.
I want to say 12.
All right.
I used to be on that.
Yes, sir.
Due to all the burglaries recently in Herring, 170 that we reported on the news.
That is not an accurate figure.
Okay, but the thing about it is, all right, where can I find out what time do you think they're taking place?
Call the police
I mean,
station.
is it,
I didn't hear what you said.
what time, all the crime that's supposed to be going on that they said in the news, I'm sure it's exaggerated at 170.
Well-
Could be more, could be less, but anyways, what time are they happening? Friday night, Saturday night?
No, that-
There's no time, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I just want to know, I mean, because I sit on my porch.
We did have several days, the last couple of months, which are now, there is no sense.
Okay, I mean, you're a police, you should know when a lot of the cops, you know, when the calls are coming in, okay, my house got robbed Friday night, 10 o'clock. I was here, there, this is what happened. I mean, I'm sitting on my porch and I'm watching stuff go on, and I've called repeatedly to the police. I mean, I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing from me, but I mean, I try to watch myself because I own a couple properties and I got kids and I want to make sure that they're safe. And I seen this on the news, and that's the only reason I'm here at this meeting. Because I want to...
It was a little distorted in the fact that it's 170 burglaries, that is correct. But if your car is unlocked and somebody steals $1 out of it, that technically is a burglary. So residential burglaries, I think, is what most people...
Yeah, that's exactly.
40 of those. And that was up from 33 last year at the same time.
Same time frame?
That's since
Okay.
January 1, right?
Correct.
I figured it was exploded.
We have the rest of that.
If you see somebody carrying a 32-inch TV down the street, don't just watch him or help him. Call the police. There's something going on there. He's not going to carry a 32-inch TV down the street if he didn't steal it somewhere. Chances are.
People are laughing about that, but that happened.
Yeah.
And they never caught it later on.
Yeah.
You know, if you see that, call right there.
Somebody broke into my car. This is 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. Somebody broke into my car. Not mine, but this is the word you get. When? Sometime during the night. Yeah, we'll come out and make out a report on it for the insurance company, but other than that, that's about all we can do. Right, Steve?
Yeah.
I didn't hear it.
That's all. It's right.
This is a serious matter.
Yes, Joyce.
Don't joke about it.
Okay.
The neighbor next door to me, they went in and just cleaned her out.
Sure.
You know, she was out of town. I have an alarm system. There's an alarm system there now, but I've seen several more in our area.
Sure.
You know, if you're a woman living alone, it isn't a fun matter. No, it's not.
No, it's not. I'm not saying it is, but there's just stupid things that people are doing that could be done differently and make it better.
Well, I have a neighbor that just moved out, and she said that she reported activity of her neighbor, and that he's totally drawn a watch list.
Get in that.
She's sure there's drug activity there and everything.
You wouldn't believe the number of houses that are on a watch list in this city, would you, Sue? But you know what? You've got to have everything, just the I's dotted, the T's crossed, and
Goddamn fire zone.
we have a downtown business that has been raided twice, and no action has been taken. You've got to get these people, when you find out who they are, arrest them. Don't smack them on the hands and let them go. Let them spend a little time in the hooch gap.
I'd like to say, I mean, this is admittedly my first meeting that I've attended, and I'm very impressed, and I've learned a lot, and it's very interesting. My question is, not knowing whether you discussed this in the past, but when there is a break-in here, and there is a break-in there, and there was break-in over there, how do we know that? I think one of the biggest things as a resident is knowing what's going on. Like, is it, here's a report, put it away? Or is it, hey, this area has really seen a lot of activity lately, your area should really keep an eye out for each other, which we do all the time. But is there anywhere that it's put out there, like, hey, you really need to watch, here's what's going on? I think it's very important for the residents to know what's going on, so we can be more, proactive and remind your other neighbors, hey, you need to turn that light on. And I'm telling you again, you need to turn that light on. But just to share that information so it's not just fueling rumors, but from a credible source. Is there any...
You can call the police station at any time, right, Sue?
Can I get a list of that information from you? Thank you.
I've heard that complaint a lot. I'd like to see them issue more press releases. They may not have details, but there was a burglary in this neighborhood, a few more press releases.
Yeah, just anything like that.
Because the press calls every day, 2 or 3 times a day.
We do not get, being in the media, we don't get press releases. I'm so sorry.
The Independent newspaper has it published every week, and it's pretty thorough. for the city of Marion.
Independent.
And it's free.
I
Why
think
don't-
where they're alluding to, Mayor, you go on the news or on the radio and say, we don't have a crime problem in here. And
I didn't say that.
I was a victim of that. I was a victim of that, Mayor, because I didn't know we had one either, and my own house got broke into in the middle of the day, right next to the middle school.
Every town in southern
2
Illinois
days
has a
later, I
crime
had
problem.
ADT. Mayor,
Yes.
I've heard you say we don't have, we're not on the
I
west
didn't
side
say
at
that.
all.
I said every town in southern Illinois has a crime problem. Look at Carbondale. How many murders have they had? How many murders do we have?
These people out there don't care how many Carbondale has here. They want our problem solved here.
But it bothers me when Huron gets the rap for being the worst town in southern Illinois for crime.
Oh, no, it's increased. Right now, we
Oh, I have.
It's increased, it's bad. My house was broke into on a Sunday afternoon. We were not gone more than a couple of hours. And I will tell you, I tracked down video of the girl trying to sell my diamond wedding set. I had video. I called your police department. I was told that you guys had bigger fish to fry and it would be 6 months. So I called the detectives. Did I get my ring back? I got part of them back because I tracked the girl down. I didn't want my face on TV. I did not want to cause a problem, and I didn't want to go get my rings even though I knew who had them. I gave them everything I had and was told it could be 6 months before they would take the lead on it.
If it has to go to the crime lab, it will take that long.
It didn't. The officer that came out said we were the second call for him that day.
Okay?
The fourth, just in that small amount of time. I'm typically home on a Sunday afternoon. Had I been home, I don't know. I'm glad I wasn't home. But they broke into a window when all of our windows are locked, and we have deadbolts. I know many people. I got one of my rings back. Luckily, the detective came and brought me my ring. And everybody said, did she get arrested? No, because she turned it over.
Do you know the case,
The
Steve?
reports need to be sent to the state attorney's office, and if they deem it necessary, then it can be charged with them. But it's ultimately up to the state attorney's office.
He let her go because she turned it over.
So that's not the police fault.
She had I have a picture of her. I have her car on video that she got into. This car has been seen around town. Do you guys know what it looks like?
I know.
Bond does.
What good does Detective Stefan, if he knows, if these people aren't watching out for what that vehicle might be look like that she's getting into?
I saw a picture of the car on Facebook.
What you've got to remember is these guys make arrests. They don't file charges. Charges are filed in Marion. And it may not hurt to run over there once in a while and raise the fuss. I'm glad you're all here tonight. This needs to come out in the air and open.
Thank you. Apparently, there's an issue going on. You've got everybody here that live in this community. We're all here voicing. There's a problem. I mean, I don't know if somebody's trying to cover it up. That's what I've heard.
Nobody's trying to cover anything.
I'm just saying, I mean, you're just people here saying stuff. I mean, I didn't believe it either, but apparently there's an issue going on with thievery here in Herring, and it needs to be addressed.
There is. I'll agree to that.
Okay.
Just look at the Hucks, though, how quick it was. If we get good evidence, good solid evidence, excuse me?
Because there was video on TV. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we need.
Her video didn't go on TV.
Okay, so if all right, I'll put some video surveillance stuff on my house.
Mhm.
Okay. And if the person breaks into, I mean, even what she's saying, what kind of prosecution is it going to be?
It's just like the mayor said, what you have to do then is that the stew was to arrest this person and take him into custody and then file charges against him, and the state's attorney says, I don't think it's enough. And there's nothing the stew can do about it, you can do about it, or I can do it.
That's right.
Smith & Wesson would help.
Either one of them, huh?
Thank you
Yeah.
for that. It was in a safe.
Don't be afraid either, man. The weather's good protector for you.
My fear is over the summer, some kid's gonna come home while they're riding a bicycle, while the burglars are in there, and burglars are gonna hurt these kids.
Yeah.
I understand.
Or
If we don't get
one
something done, somebody's gonna get hurt.
We also-
It's gonna be a victim, not the people that.
You also have to think about that there are a lot of kids that walk around town, and I work at a gas station, I see a lot of them, and everybody's all freaking out about stuff, and nobody's talking to their neighbors, and one of these kids that's innocent is gonna get hurt too. And that bothers me, because I'm like always telling the kids to be careful that are coming in at 10 o'clock at night, because if they're walking down the street, everybody's scared because there's so much going on that the innocent kids are gonna get hurt too.
Is there still curfew in here for, children?
Yes. It's 11:30.
It's not enforced, I can tell you that right now. I got kids coming home at 12. You want to hear something good? I live over Park Lane. 2:30 at night, there was kids skateboarding off of the lady's house.
Did you report them?
By the time we got over there, they said we can't find them. So I was like, whatever. Skateboarding down the top of the house.
That happens. That happened at Southside School. Time we get there, they're at the other end of the school. I remember that several times in one year. That was the sport that year. Surfboard on top of Southside School. Yeah.
So how do we support getting more police?
Lady in the back, please.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a comment and I have a question. I'm going to ask my question first because I don't want to upset the apple cart, so to speak. I would like to know if there's a way we can find out about patrols in our neighborhood because we haven't seen any patrolling in our neighborhood for 10 years. My comment is, this is an open meeting, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
When someone speaks and tells you that they cannot hear, you do not dismiss them and tell them it is none of their business.
I didn't say it was none of their business.
No, Mayor, you did.
Yes, she did.
He did.
Yes, he did.
And I am here to tell you, we are your constituents and we expect respect as we give you.
Yes, ma'am. And you will too.
Thank you.
You know, there's a lot of things that go on Facebook that are not true, but if it's on Facebook, people grab it and run with it. And that is totally wrong. You need to be calling the police, you need to be calling me, you need to be calling your alderman. And it should go from there. Yes, ma'am.
Two things.
Yes.
The first one is, I agree with what you said about Facebook. However, there have been instances before where there was someone running around breaking in houses and the people who actually were raped were coming on and saying, this happened to me. We contacted WSIL, they called you and you said, not happening in my town, and it was still happening. The other thing, and so that's...
Rape?
Yeah, when the girl got raped over by the laundromat in her apartment.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Okay, and then a couple of weeks later, it happened to another girl. She got attacked. She was not raped because the police did intervene. We lived around the corner. My cousin called and the cop said, we don't show them out. There was no attack over there. Like, we were watching the cops arrest the guy. We know that they were out there. Not happening here. The other thing is
I said that?
no.
Okay.
No, the police officer did. No, when we contacted WSIL, when people were, they said they called you guys and you guys said nothing was going on in this town. It wasn't happening. When that girl got raped over there, and people were freaking out about it, we contacted them and they called you and y'all said, what happened?
There were no charges filed. You're right. And that's what has to happen. You have to have charges
But if there
filed.
was, if somebody was breaking into houses and raping people or trying to, wouldn't you want us to know so that women were protecting themselves?
We can't put out there that there's people being raped if they're not being raped.
Okay. The other thing is couldn't you not do something like with the Heron Fest, only on a broader scale, with Diane and other people, bring them together, maybe try to figure out some way for more community involvement with the police department, with you guys, so that maybe it calms down when people are upset and we can work together to figure
Well, you know,
something
the one
out.
thing that bothers me, there has been always people hollering about people speeding in this town. But they don't want to be arrested by an energy officer doing his duty. There is a state law that we had nothing to do with, your legislator did, that when our boundary, our south boundary, abuts with their north boundary, they can come across and enforce energy's ordinances in the city of Harrington. We can do nothing about that. So you can't have it both ways. You can either let energy come in and do what they want to do, which we have to by law. What happened? Let the lady.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, but isn't that a plus, Mayor, when we have, isn't that a plus for Aaron when we have the energy or?
It is a plus. A lot of people don't see that. I've had people, well, why did energy arrest me? Like, well, they were there when you were screaming. Is she all right? I think we're going to have to do what we said we were going to do. Diane, you're going to meet with
Yes.
Bill and Arnie?
Yes.
And Chief? And
See, the only information that I try to put out there, and I don't go on rumors and I get onto people all the time, don't do it. If you've not reported this, don't report it on here, because you need to make reports. I just want the individual neighborhoods to know, hey, this is happening in your neighborhood. Please inform the police, let us know so we can be on extra alert too. You know?
And with this Crime Watch thing, you guys can have a validated person to go and talk to the police once a day and see where overnight happenings were.
Yeah.
Is there any way that neighborhoods could be alerted that there was activity, criminal activity going on in their neighborhood, so everyone's antenna could go up and watch? I suspect that this might be happening in clusters, that one neighborhood might be getting hit a little more than another, or even if there's one crime that happens, I know I would like to know if there's some activity that happened down the street from you, so that I would be maybe a bit more in tune to what's going on.
Yeah.
Is there any way that we can be alerted?
Stu, is there? It'd take a lot of time.
Well,
Yeah.
what about, I mean, you mentioned overnight happenings, right? You know, call Stu and get overnight happenings. Well, isn't that a press release where each morning, you know, someone calls for a press release and there's nothing to report? That's overnight happenings, right?
Sure. But if there's nothing to report, there's nothing to report.
Ever? There's never anything to report? I mean, I understand if like, well, I think someone's car was broken into and they're not sure if it was locked or not, but nothing was really stolen. That's not happening. I don't care about that. I'm sorry, you know, but
Yeah.
it's one little thing. I don't expect you to put it in the media.
Yeah.
But when people's houses get broken into, that's media. You know, that's something to report. That's an overnight happening. But if we're not getting anything at the
Well,
media,
let's just try this. Let Billy and Ernie and Stu and Diane, and bring somebody with you if you want to, Diane. I'm sure they wouldn't care.
Okay.
Let's see how this works, and the Public Works, and I can talk to Public Works, I think. We will help them put signs up if that's necessary. Help them with anything they need like that. As far as buying signs, those signs are darn expensive. And we may be able to get some from the county leftovers from last time, but I'm glad everybody was here tonight. And I think they'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Any questions? Roll call.
Yes.
I know the meeting's over, but I have one more thing I'd like to show you people. Did you get one of these in the mail?
yeah.
Water quality report.
Yes.